Hello guys, welcome back. Real data analysis starts with loading the data from different files. In this video, I'll show you how to read the data from CSV, Excel, JSON and Parquet, most popular formats used in the real world. Plus, I'll show you how also you can process the data and save it to the different file formats. Let's begin. Let us start creating a new notebook. Let's save this as 03 reading and writing data. Let's say reading and writing data. Now first let me import the pandas as PD. We can also import numpy as np in case if we need it. Sorry, it has to be code. Okay. Now let's start setting up the sample data. So set up the data for creating samples. So here I want to create a sample data by saying data, which is going to be equals to, I'll go for pd.data frame, and this is going to be a dictionary of some columns like name. I'll go for some names like Alice, Bob, Charlie, Dinah and Eve. A, B, C, D, E, H. Let's go for 25, 30, 35, 40 and 45. Okay, let's go for city. Let's go for NY. Let's go for Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston and Seattle. Okay. And finally we'll go for salary. Let's say 50,000, 60,000, 55,000, 45,000 and 65,000. Okay, so we are having the data here. Let's see how the data looks like. Data. So this is my data having rows and columns. This is something that we already have explored last time. Let's go for saving this data into different formats. Let's start with CSV file format. CSV is very common file format. CSV stands for comma separated values. So let's go for CSV files. First, let's write the data. So write the data into CSV format. It is very simple. We can say data.toCSV, and I'll create a directory called as a data, and which we can say sample.csv. Now let us see. First we have to create a new directory. So I'll call this as a data, and within this data I want to go for saving the files. Now when you save this file, you can see right inside this a sample.csv is created. Now only problem here, you can see it also is writing the index as well, which is not required because it's kind of an extra column that we are having. So what we can do here is, while saving it, we can pass index is going to be equals to false, which means now when the file is going to get created, it will not have the index column. So you can see name, age, city and salary columns are created with the proper format, and seems like my data has been written in a CSV format without having any trouble. So I'll just simply say CSV file created, just for our understanding that it is done. Now I want to read the file, I want to read the data from the same file. Earlier we wrote the data, now we are going to read the data. So this is where we can say read the data from CSV file. Okay, this can be done easily by saying df is going to be equals to pd.readcsv and give the path data/sample.csv and just print that df, and you can see that this is how we are getting the data back from the CSV file. So this is the CSV format. If you can right click on that and open with the CSV viewer, this is the CSV viewer that you can see here, or you can double click on that and you can see that in the same tabular format. So same data I'm reading in a data frame format. This is the way we can do it. Now while saving the data, you can also save it with custom delimiter as well in CSV format using a custom delimiter. By default, you have seen the delimiter is used here as a comma, because comma is the one which is going to separate it, so this is the file which is having the comma separated file format. Now instead of going for a comma, maybe we can go for some different separator. I don't want the index. At the same time, I can say separator is going to be equals to /t. This is going to be like TSV format. Instead of saying comma separated, you can go for TSV format. So when I save this file, if I look at that, I can see TSV format, and you can see that the data is being read here properly. Let's open this file and let me show you how does it look like. So this is the file. Let me open that here, and if I open the TSV file, you can see it is separated by /t. It's like a tab. And if I open the CSV file, it is separated by comma. So this is CSV file which is having a comma as a delimiter, and this is the TSV file which is having the tab as a delimiter. That's why we are using extension as a TSV instead of saying CSV. So this is the way we are going to store the data using CSV file format. Now let's look at very commonly used next file format, Excel. So let's go for Excel files now. Again, same thing. Whatever data that we have captured here, that's a sample data, let's write it in an Excel format. This can be done easily by saying write the file into Excel format, or Excel file you can call it as. Very simple. We can say data.toExcel and give it a name. Again, data sample.xlsx. Again, like last time, I do not want that index, so let us set to false and say Excel file created, just for our understanding that it is done. So I can say that this is Excel file created. Wonderful. Now if I go for this is the XLS file. So if I open this file, if I double click on that, and you will get the same data but in Excel format. Okay, it's opening it now. Yes, this is the Excel file format. So you can see the whole data is being stored in Excel format. It's not needed. Okay, that's an update. Fine. So this is the way we can do the job. We can also read the data from Excel format by saying read data from Excel file or Excel format. This can be done easily. df is again going to be equals to pd.readExcel and give it a path. So again sample.xlsx, and let's print the data again, and you can see that the same data is now read from an Excel file. So earlier we read it from a CSV file, now we are reading it from Excel file. Very simple. Okay, so this is the second very commonly used file format. The next one, which is pretty standard in the web technologies, it's the JSON files. So we can go for JSON files now. The same data I want to store in a JSON file format. So let's say write the data into JSON format. Can be done easily by saying data.toJSON, to JSON, and give it a name. Again sample.json. This time we'll see like what is the way it stores the data, and we'll see how we can fix it. But right now I can say JSON file created. So this will give me a confirmation. So if I refresh it, I can see this sample.json file created, and you can see that the data is kind of written in this particular format. This is not actually the format I'm expecting, because this is not useful. So if I open this in Visual Studio Code, this is not at all useful, so this is how it is storing the 0 ls or bob2 blah blah blah. So it's not a good format. So instead of doing it, I can change that orient. This is the parameter that we can pass, and say treat that data as a records. So if I do it now, you can see if I open that file again right inside this, you can see now this is perfect dictionary format that you can see, list of dictionary format. So when you are saving the data in a JSON, it's very important for you to treat it as records by using the orient equals to records format. So this is the parameter that we have to pass. Like we did earlier, I'm going to read the data from JSON format or JSON file. Again df is going to be equals to pd.readJSON data/sample.json. Same job that we did earlier with the different formats. So we can say print df and I can see the same data is now read back. So in this case, we are kind of using CSV format, Excel format, JSON format. Now let's go for another one, Apache Parquet format. This is mainly famous in the Apache world. So this one here is the Parquet format. Parquet format. So this is, again, I'm going to say write the data into a Parquet format, which is efficient for a larger data set. Right now data set is very small, but if the data set is very large, Parquet format is generally preferred. Data.to Parquet. You can go for, again, data/sample.parquet. The extension is also Parquet, and again the confirmation, the Parquet file created. So just for confirmation. Again, if I say refresh, I can see the Parquet file format. I mean, we won't be able to read that file here because Jupyter does not know how to read it. If I open that file here in Visual Studio Code, you see that it is also not able to read the file because that's a very special format. You can read it with the Apache word. So this way we are kind of creating a file with the Parquet format. Now let's do the reverse operation, reading the data from Parquet formats. So read the data from Parquet file. Again, df is going to be equals to pd.readParquet and give it a name. So data/sample.parquet, and let's print the data. Again, in all occasions you can see the data is same, but we are reading it from different formats. This shows the compatibility with the formats from the Pandas world. So in Pandas we can have different file formats. Now the last file format that I'm going to talk about in this video is the Pickle format. Now Pickle is very famous when you are going for saving your machine learning model. Generally when you go for Pickle files will store exact information in that object or in that variable in a file. It's generally kind of a serialization process. Pickle it is known as. So let's write the data again. So we can say write the data into Pickle format. Same job, it's going to be like data to Pickle and give it a name. Data/sample.pkl is the extension that we generally use, and again the confirmation, the Pickle file created. Okay, so if I go for it, like Parquet, I can't open that file here because neither the Jupyter Notebook or Visual Studio Code won't be able to read anything here. So probably this is the Pickle format, and again I'm going to read the data from the Pickle format, read the data from Pickle file format. Again df is going to be equals to pd.readPickle, and then we can say data/sample.pkl, and let's print the data to confirm whether we are reading the data back. Yes, we are able to read the data back. So that's how we are going to perform the read and write operations with the different file formats. It's very simple, and you can see the compatibility with the different file formats. So no matter what kind of data that you are having, you always will be able to convert that data or read that data into a data frame format. So data frame is like a two-dimensional collection which is going to read the data in a tabular format. Now you can load any data format. In the next video, we'll see how do we go for selecting and filtering data, and which is one of the most important skills. So I'll see you there in the next video. Thank you guys.